Hey everybody, Monday night show. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Howie, and before I introduce my illustrious brain trust here, we want to thank our longtime sponsor, DJEventPlanner.com. You can find them and our other sponsors below in the YouTube video when it goes to YouTube. So with that, I want to welcome Bill from Boston, John from Boston, and Kevin from Buckeye State, Ohio. Of course, we got Brian with us from Milwaukee, Jay from Temecula, and we have Eric from New Hampshire. So, yeah, I've been having a tough time. Just personally, which I don't need to get into. So I didn't have a topic, so I asked the group, and I'm going to let Brian take the lead. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much.
No, I can do that for you.
Thank you so much.
So we're into 2024, and some of us have seen some changes. Some of us have expressed that, and tonight might be a really good opportunity to share some of those changes. And so let's just do that. Jay had mentioned that he's done 17,000 weddings already this year. And he has seen 4,700 changes. Would you like to share all 4,700 of those with us tonight, Jay?
Sure, I'd love to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to give the competition a leg up. So that's all I am.
Fair enough. Eric, go ahead, Jay.
No, I think the biggest thing I started seeing last year that I was really stoked about, because I don't know about your markets, this market for a very long time was introduce the wedding party, introduce the bride and groom. And you would introduce the wedding party as couples, full name. So here's Brian Redd and Sally Smith. And that's fine if it's Brian Redd and Sally Smith. But when you're getting into 8, 9, 10 couples with challenging names, that started to go sideways. So about 4 years ago, we convinced weddings, and I think it was on the Knot and Wedding Wire, just to use first names for time.
Wow, I was 100%. Doing that 20 years ago, but cool. Well, I'm glad that the Knot and Wedding Wire caught up.
Well, I think because a lot of it, and I'm not saying this as a retort or, this isn't tennis, so I'm not giving back, but I'm doing a lot of, granted since COVID, they've all been outside, but pre-COVID, you're in these kind of swanky ballrooms. There's a level of decorum that I think they were convinced they had to meet. So it was less about the convenience of me or what made sense for the party and more about, well, we paid 80 grand for this wedding. I think we have to introduce the dogs, the cats, everyone, full names, yada, yada, yada. So then we kind of went into just first names, and that was great. And then I noticed last year, I probably did maybe 6 or 7 weddings where the introduction went, I want to bring in the wedding party. First the gals, and I'd play a song, and all of them would walk in. Then the guys, and I'd play another song, and all of them would walk in. And then the bride and groom. And I kind of like that. I'm not saying anyone's name. And
Can you do one for the non-binaries, too? That'd be kind of cool.
Jay, being from Boston, I'm just going to say the Patriots started that.
I wish to the viewers, I apologize for all the interruptions of my thoughts tonight. There are golden nuggets that you are not getting in full. And for that, I apologize. If you want to check me out on Headliner this Thursday, I'm doing a live podcast with them out of the UK. But I don't want to distract from
nice.
Shine on, brother. Shine on.
It's fine staffing here. Call the lawyer, Tom. Oh, I'm still on? So that's been a new trend, not to introduce anybody and bring in girls and guys. The other new trend and again, maybe it's been going on in Brian, John, Bill's area, forever. But this year, real strong. All my weddings this year have done father-daughter, mother-son, bride-mother dances. They've all added a bride-mother dance. I noticed over the last few years, the father-daughter, mother-son dances started falling away. Maybe a dad or mom had passed away. There was divorce. There's always a challenge. So I'm noticing also I haven't done a garter and bouquet in probably 20 weddings.
Thank God.
Brian and I have talked about this for decades of doing an anniversary dance. And then as a gift, you give the bouquet away to that couple. The other thing that came back strong, shockingly, is the shoe game. I've probably done 10 weddings out of the last 20 with a shoe game. And the funniest thing about it is it goes over huge. Like, it's amazing. People, and I'm looking at it like, you're kidding, right? This is the goofiest thing ever. But people are really loving it. I mean, that's been the mainstay, and it doesn't seem like much, but when you're accustomed to this is the protocol, it's kind of a big help. The other downside I'm seeing is people aren't managing their time the way they used to. I mean, brides and grooms were really on top of their time. So far this year, even though I'm reminding them of where they are in timing, they're kind of not really caring. Like, oh, that's cool, whatever. I'm like, oh, but, you know, we're going to lose time on dancing or we're going to do this. And I think they're catching on like we've always known. You don't need 4 hours of dancing. You don't need 3 hours of dancing. So they're kind of listening to me a little more on that. I had a wedding in Palm Springs a couple weeks ago, and 45 minutes early, it was freezing cold. They were just
Jay,
like,
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you consider the sweet spot of dancing time?
2 to 2.5 hours.
I'm on that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can go 3, 4, 5. I understand different markets do different things. I had the police show up Saturday night at my wedding. It was outdoors, and I haven't.
What, like Sting?
No, and I'll tell you what started it. I worked with a DJ a couple weeks ago who uses the app on the Evolve 50s, and I've never touched my Evolve 50s since I talked to you 4 years ago. So I get on the app the other night just to look at it, and I'm messing around, and I notice I'm set to live, which means I've been set to live since I got the speakers, and I thought they sounded great. Well, I'm like, wow, what does music sound like? So I hit the music button. I'm like, oh, that sounds better. And then I hit the club button. And I feel a rumble on the floor. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to dancing. And I pull out Mr. Phone and I go, club. And an hour later, woo.
Don't stand so close to me. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da.
And there they were. So
you're gonna have to put on the red light.
Every step you take, brother.
My wedding got busted, but to their credit, it's pre 10 o'clock. They have to answer the call, but they can't do anything to you because there's a noise variance in the community, in the county. And if you guys do outdoor events, you should always find out the county you're in and the noise acceptance levels for time. Because you have a lot to stand on when they come over to you and look at you and you go, it's not 10 o'clock yet.
It's usually 10 o'clock just about everywhere. Usually.
Yeah.
Unless it's the group that brings in their own alcohol, right, John?
Yeah, they might go a little longer. Yeah.
So Bill's itching at this, man. He won't shut up. So I'm going to let Bill say something. I know you probably have done a lot of weddings, but just say in your events in general, because I know you guys do a lot of corporate events and such. Have you seen anything that's new for 2024 in 3 minutes or less?
So the simple thing is, for me, the simple thing I have seen is stack everything at the beginning. They do first dance, they go right into parent dance, they go right into everything they want to do. They're stacking it forward. So the rest of the night, there's no formalities. They're really doing everything right up front. So the rest of the night is just however we want it to go.
It's interesting because
I have couples that let's keep it really light during dinner and then let's go into dancing, or let's stack all this up front and then let's party all night long. So
it's interesting you say that. This is the format that we've been using here for at least the last 10 years. We used to spread it out.
Just seeing it in the Boston area now.
An hour into it, we're going to do some kind of garter bouquet, and then sometime in the night, we're going to mix up that father-daughter. Nope. Right away, so we can just party the rest of the night.
They're even pushing that up.
Which is funny because I've done weddings in other areas. So let's say Colorado. The cocktail hour, then right into dinner. We're not doing anything until the end of dinner. Let's do the first dance and then move on from there. But now we're seeing in the Boston area, let's stack it all up front and then move on from there and let's just party all night long.
Sure. I think I was talking to John last.
People start to leave early.
I was talking to John last night. And
well, we're into 10 o'clock since COVID.
I was telling John that I think it. Well, I don't know. Maybe I was talking to your alter ego. I don't remember. But
Could have been.
we were
He shows
having a
up very, very
conversation,
late.
and I was saying that in the old days when we would do this staggered thing, where we would do the first dance and then maybe 45 minutes to an hour in, we'd do Garter Bouquet. That's after the Garter Bouquet. That's when a lot of people left. Grandma and Grandpa left because they saw what they wanted to see. Now they can go. Stacking the stuff at the beginning doesn't give them that break to leave.
No.
So they stay longer.
See, we finally leave after. Like when we would do the, let's say, intro, first dance, group dance, dinner, toast, father, daughter, mother, son, dance, cake. Then we would do anniversary because it would keep the older folks that leave after the cake. But it would also give me a 20, 30-minute window of playing 50s, 60s, 70s.
Sure.
Just to keep them happy.
Yeah, you cut up a lot, but
Yeah.
you're not. You're playing shorter times typically.
Right. I mean, it's starting the wedding the other day in Palm Springs. Palm Springs was 5 to 10. The wedding the other night was 4 to 10. So by the time they get to sitting and everything else, you're in that 3+ hour window. It depending on the number of older folks. If there's, and I asked them, are there a ton of older folks? We had 20 kids the other night under the age of 14. I could have shot myself. Like they took the dance floor over. It didn't matter what I played. They wouldn't get off the dance floor. And all the adults just stood off to the side dancing at their tables. And it's like, so there's always a challenge. And I think if you tell your client, we're either going to go with schedule A, which is where everything is done by dinner, schedule B, where we stagger it, or schedule C, where we figure it out on the go. Because how many times have all of us done a wedding where the bride and groom are doing Garter Bouquet first, all the dances, you get there and suddenly they go, you know what? We're going to skip Garter Bouquet. We don't have that many people. Actually, don't announce the cake because the dance floor is full. That's what I can't stand about coordinators sometimes when they go, okay, next song, can we do cake cutting? And I'm like, no. I have a full dance floor. It's the last time I want to do it.
We could do a whole show on coordinators.
Go do that. I mean, they have an obligation to the cake, the photographer, and the couple. So I get their position.
Let me tell you exactly how the show on coordinators are going to go. It's going to be Howie going, hey, guys, what do you think of wedding coordinators? You're going to go to John. He's going to say, they suck. Kevin, they suck. Bill, they suck. Eric, they suck. Jay, they suck. Brian, yep, they suck. That's our show this week. Good night.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, the best one would be
Bill, your time's up. It's Kevin's turn.
My turn?
I was going to say, let's do the whole Brady thing and put the wedding coordinator in the middle of the whole block
Sure.
and see where it goes.
Kevin, have you noticed anything new in Ohio where you had a great eclipse today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't have a booking, so I just, in my community where I lived, I put my little Bluetooth speaker out and I played a few songs as the lights dimmed. Started with a little "Wanna Be Starting Something" and played "Dancing in the Dark." Oh, I like Eric's look there. Good look. So I gave the community a little bit of music while it was getting dark.
Anyone do Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Quiet, Bill. This is not your show. Sorry. So, have there been any changes?
Yes. Jay said quite a few. I've noticed a drop in the Garter Bouquet. The other thing I've noticed this year, and I've only done one wedding so far, I had a noise ordinance I had to sign off on. And that was out in BFE, out in the Stick Hills. It was a treehouse resort. So that was sort of new and different for me. But otherwise, pretty much I play it by ear with the way they want to do it. I don't have a set order that I do it in.
No.
Them plan out, and I have done some where all the girls come in, all the guys come in. I will even ask them, it's like, this is something that's happening. Is that something you want to do? Or do you want to pair off? So I ask pretty detailed questions. I even ask, do you want to do the flower girls? Do you want to have them come in? And if you do, should you do them at the first? Because if you have them do it later, you're trying to build energy, and having the girls right before the newlyweds come in, you've sort of sapped the excitement and made it more of a, ooh, that's cute kind of moment. So not a whole lot of differences. Those were just a couple of things.
Before I go to Eric, I just want to say that it so far, to me, it sounds like that a lot of markets are catching up with other markets, or actually sharing ideas with each other and making little changes. It's interesting. Some of the stuff I'm hearing, we've been doing for a long time. Other things we're not doing, but it's cool that. I mean, regional is good. Regional is great, but it's fun when we can share our experiences and our techniques, and they migrate into other markets. I think that's kind of neat.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
the only other thing, and right now I'm sort of disappointed, and they sort of talked about this on the DJ News TV show. I have a reduction in bookings so far, a little bit of a slowdown, which I heard was something that might be happening. I'm still traditionally heavy to the fall, but right now, and I've also noticed more last minute. Like, how far out are you? Next year? Oh, no.
Again, I've been the last minute guy forever.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
So that's one thing I've noticed a little bit more this year than in past years.
Eric, how about you?
Well, before I start, you guys don't have this yet. It's the Bill remote. Let me pause it. I'm going to pause him real quick. You guys should have got this in the mail. I sent them up. Okay, hold on. Unlike Jay, we love you, Bill. Unlike Jay, he muted himself. Unlike Jay, I have not started my wedding season yet. Jay luckily lives in the California region, and wedding is year-round over there.
Yeah, but you gig like 3 nights a week.
But that's different.
It doesn't matter.
We're talking when
we're talking gigs, man. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
All right. I get that. But yes, I do gig 4 nights a week, but it's not weddings. We're talking weddings here, I think.
No, we're talking gigging.
No. Gigs.
Whatever you do.
Okay, well that's great. But all right.
Any and all gigs.
I was aiming in at weddings.
Okay.
Let me just say that, like the 3 weddings I booked so far this year, the difference I've seen is pricing. They're not blinking an eye. Like one venue, I charged way high, overbid, hoping I wouldn't get it. As soon as I gave them the price, where do I send the deposit? Let's go.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, are you serious? I meant no.
You meant no. It's like when you go to your mechanic and you try to get them to do a job they don't want to do. They give you this crazy price and you agree to it. And it's like, oh, great and crap all at the same time. So,
Right.
So far, like I said, it's just taken off here.
Good.
But that's the biggest thing I've noticed is they're not blinking an eye at the price, and that's a good thing, really.
They're paying more this year than they did ever before.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. My last 2 weddings were worth 4 weddings last year. God is my witness. 2 weddings equaled 4, and they don't seem to care. And I'm like, okay.
But you got to ask yourself: does that mean we, as an industry, all agreed? Okay, this is our minimum. This is it.
I heard Brian K. changed his price to $610, and that caused the entire ship.
See, yeah,
everything just went up. That's what I heard.
We can't get into that.
I heard it on DJNTV, so it must be true.
He's not in here to defend himself, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just thinking maybe it's a question. Maybe the whole industry has decided, look, this is it. Don't lowball me. This is the way it is. It's this or higher. And all these clients, when they call, already have a figure in their head above what they thought before. I don't know. I'm guessing. But the 4 weddings that I booked so far did not blink an eye, and everything went up. That's just all I'm saying. And the one I didn't want,
they
was way high, and they bid it. It was done.
What do you got, John? What do you got for us? What's different?
Just to recap a little bit, coming in from watching Dan and Cubby, they were kind of on this topic, was that the high-end weddings haven't really changed. They're still going to be what they are. It's the pomp and circumstance. It's the protocol. It's very formal. The mid-level weddings are coming down. So if you're that middle guy, not the economy weddings, not the cheap value packages like the $700 DJ, that's taking a little bit of a hit. But budget's always going to be budget. But that's for all of us, depending on what you work. If you're at the country club, it's one price. If you're at the VFW hall, it's different. And if it's in someone's backyard, it's different than that. But for changes, we haven't been out on a wedding yet for this year, but towards the end of last year, but the change that happens every year is that we continue to get older and the couples continue to get younger. And that's the thing that you see first off that you notice. And they want to get all that stuff done. The Instagram, TikTok, 30-second attention span. Bride's like, can I get a selfie with the cake before we cut it? I mean, they want stuff to, move along and get out of the way and get to the partying. Yeah. Whereas, if a couple in their 30s or 40s are getting married, they want more of the drawn out. They don't want the cake till after dances,
pageantry.
Yeah. Because I mean, as we originally were trained as wedding DJs, spacing it out was the key to keeping everyone there, or at least, when you open the dance floor with disco, grandma's happy because then she can get her coat and go home, and then you progress into the younger people that stay.
Sure.
So what remains to be seen. We'll be out this year doing a bunch. I know there's a lot of stuff on the calendar now, so we'll report back when we have some more data for you.
Do you have any feedback for us, Howie, so far?
Yeah. I have, for 2024, I've noticed that last minute stuff too. I mean, stuff that would normally take place in January, didn't. Like, people were eager to book a date for the summer, and the political stuff I do. This is an election year.
Right.
I haven't heard from them yet.
It's funny. We have the RNC here in Milwaukee this year. They just changed bar times to 4 a.m., which is a big deal for us.
Wow.
Yeah, so during the RNC, what could go wrong? Bar times are going to go to 4 a.m.
Did you just say 4 a.m.?
I just said 4 a.m. Yeah. Normally it's 2 o'clock on weekdays, 2:30 on weekends, but the RNC is during the week, and it's 4 a.m. Some of our what word am I looking for? Some of our neighborhoods are trying to dispute that, or trying to say, well, we're not going to do that. But others are, like downtown's definitely
board up their windows.
Money.
Yeah. Some bars don't even want to open for it. But yeah, 4 a.m. They just announced that. Yet I have no bookings. I have no one reserving me yet. Yet I know I will be out there every night. But it's last minute, like you said.
Somewhere.
Last minute.
Brian, like Howie said, it's short term. You're going to get so much stuff. I need
my
you
life
Monday,
is short term.
or I need you Thursday, or I need you.
Yeah, it's
You're gonna
been
see
that
that.
way for me. I call myself. I can't even think of what I had a really clever name for myself, but I forgot what it was. I was going to say Minuteman, but that's not what it was.
Last minute.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm the last minute guy. I go in. People used to book a year in advance, or 6 months in advance. Didn't seem like a lot of
Not
time
anymore.
Now, if I got 6 weeks, it's like we got plenty of time, and that's how it works.
Brian, man.
I've
My
got
corporate stuff is going 2 to 3 weeks sometimes.
I've got a handful. Well, corporate changes a lot. The wedding thing, usually they plan it out, but they haven't been doing that for a long time.
No.
I've been jumping in, pretty quick on this stuff.
But that's what I mean by the RNC stuff. You're going to get a bunch of stuff in.
Yeah, it's all going to happen right away. And I don't think any of it's going to be for the RNC, nor do I want to do anything for the RNC. What I want to do for when that comes around, I want to do things for the bar or the club or the restaurant.
Yep.
That's what I'm interested in doing, opposed to the official stuff. Just seems like there's less red tape that way. Probably
Agreed.
less money, too. If I would have gotten in as an official vendor, I probably really could have cashed in. But then you got the pressure, and you got the NDAs, and you got all the crap. I don't want to deal with that.
Not always, because John and I did 2 corporate events this week there was an eye conference, so ophthalmology conference in Boston. We did a couple events, and they did their really elite stuff in a different location, and John and I did the AV for it. And you're going to see that with the RNC. They're going to do their kind of really elite stuff, and they're going to want really good guys. And that's where you'll come in.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
You
there's
have that
several
reputation
properties.
in your area.
I work with a lot of properties, you know, and a lot of places here. And yeah, I'll probably get calls. But I mean, on my end, I tell you what I've noticed. And I haven't done any weddings. I've got them on the books, but they haven't happened yet. We just saw a 65-degree day today, which was nice. So most of our weddings kick in are May, June. But I don't have anything until later in the summer. I do. This is weird. I got a call for a May 4th 50th anniversary this week. And I'm thinking, all right, it's an anniversary. It's 4 hours. It's 50 people. You show up, you play music, you go home.
Easy.
And I'm not going to price this the same as I'm going to price a wedding because there's not as much involved with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have meetings. I'm not going to have to sit there and do timelines and all these activities and learn names. Guess what? They want a meeting. They want to sit down and plan this thing. And they have not asked price.
So book it as a wedding.
It's going to look like
valuable.
that.
Yeah. Don't forget the Star Wars upcharge because it's May the 4th.
Yeah, that's what I said too. It's like, yeah, May the 4th be with you, folks.
The 4th be with you, baby.
Someone's going to show up just as
again, Brian, go back to now you want this, now you want this. You know what? Here's my price.
It's what it's going to be. I mean, and what I do is I don't arbitrarily throw out prices. I get a scope of work before I give a price. And I don't think I'm going to have the scope of work until after this meeting. So we can't even contract it yet, but it's reserved and we're going to have this meeting. Mom and dad are out of the country right now. They will be back in the country next week. We're having the meeting. We'll establish it at that point. But 100%. At any rate, that's new because usually those type of parties are pretty turnkey. Very easy.
Right.
Yeah, you show up, you play. But no, they want to plan this?
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
That's new. And if that's a trend, wow.
Are they doing their vows again too? Part of this?
We'll find out.
Maybe
we'll find out if they are. Gee, you know what? This is just like a wedding.
Wedding.
I do hope you share with the class what this meeting was all about.
Well, we'll be all about it. It's scheduled for next week. So
yeah.
I got it on my phone. It's going to be on a Monday at a Starbucks. My friend Jay turned me on to that idea a long time ago. Great place to have a meeting with your clients. It's neutral ground. You can hang out as long as you want. You can have a nice coffee.
They can get up and leave.
You should have did a Zoom meeting and we can all be in here with you.
Yeah.
With our cameras
don't mind these guys. They're just observing.
They're just spectators. Yeah.
We'll look good. Don't worry. All right.
You're all B-roll.
Yeah. That's
I'm this white guy.
Well, I hope the eclipse went well for everybody, and thank you for tuning in. We will see you